What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Certified Commanders. It's that man, Abu's brother man. And today we going down that deep dive, going down that rabbit hole when it comes to this defensive tackle room, man. Let's go ahead and understand who we got, who we picked up for this defensive line room, man. You know, this is one of those rooms where I do gotta give AP credit because AP did his thing, man. That entire defensive front is gonna be a problem for any offensive line we see this year. I can't hate on AP. I can't hate on Mr. AP when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to other shit, that's when we want some other shit. But AP did his thing, man. We got solidified starting guys. We got former first round picks. We got first round picks along that entire front line. So let's go ahead and talk about it, man. Let's get into, like I said, let's go into that rabbit hole, man. Take that deep dive and see who these guys are, man. Let's start with the new addition to the squad, man, Charles Omenihu. You know what I'm saying? Just to start this off, I heard Charles talk to, he was getting interviewed by somebody on some slight shit. They asked him about, you know, what his contribution gonna be to that defensive line, and he mentioned specifically that he's playing defensive tackle. So already I'm like, all right, shit. Well, I already know how that shit go in the back rooms, man. When you sign these deals, when you sign these contracts, these teams be making promises that the fans would never know about. These teams be making promises, you know what I'm saying? And they be, you know, they have deals under the table, whether it's, you know, on paper or not. You know what I'm saying? So with him saying he's primarily there to play defensive tackle, I hear that. You know what I'm saying? And I heard him, you know? And look, you know, to me, he's a tweener still, man. You know what I'm saying? He could play outside at defensive end, but I genuinely believe he's better on the inside. Why? Because of his arm length and the strength that he brings to that position, the defensive tackle. And the fact that he doesn't have like elite bend, like some of those other guys, like a Kalavon, like a Adafe, like, you know, like a Bosa, he don't got that elite bend off the corner. So he's probably do better on the inside, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? But that's not a knock, though. You know what I'm saying? I ain't knocking cuz. You know what I'm saying? That's just understanding body type and understanding what I've seen him being able and not able to do on the football field. You feel me? But there's a bright side of this, though. If Daronte Jones' defense is what they say Daronte Jones' defense is supposed to be, there'll be plenty of snaps where Omenihu is lined up in a traditional defensive end spot, but still has a guy like Kalavon on the outside of him, or might have a Dafe on the outside of him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he might be in a traditional D-end position, but still playing defensive tackle fundamentals, defensive tackle techniques. You know, he's basically being more so of those over formations. So, with all that being said, that's really meaning that, you know, Omenihu is functionally still a defensive tackle in those situations. And that's where he thrives at. You know, I feel like Omenihu thrives when somebody's on his outside. You know what I'm saying? Like, and where he can still set the edge as well. So that's gonna be an important pickup, man. You know, he's gonna be a chess piece that you can, like I said, I know Charles, I know you said you here to play defensive tackle, but listen here. In the Daronte Jones' defense, you could think you playing D tackle all the way, but in the eyes of the opposing, you know what I'm saying, the opposing offense, you're in a defensive, you might be most times in a defensive end position. So he gonna be a chess piece, man. He gonna be a mismatch creator, a dude who can wreck guards with long arms, wreck tackles, and get into the quarterback's lap. And if he don't get into the quarterback's lap, he just put his hands up and get that bat down. You know what I'm saying? He good for it. He definitely good for it. Next up, we want to talk about this man, Dorrance Armstrong, man. Hey, we can't hide it. We seen the story. We seen the news. We seen the breaking news, man. He's starting the season out on the PUP list. Who came off the injury last year. But what does that do for your status on this team. You know what I'm saying? I looked at the contract situation, could master Dan Quinn's system so well that he could stat pad his way into another contract, man. Stat pad his way into proving his value year after year. He's one of those guys, man. You know, Armstrong, his strengths are simple, bro. You know, technically sound, disciplined. He's a finisher. He knows how to win in Dan Quinn's structure. But now the question is, can he translate that, what he's mastered in Dan Quinn's system, over to Durante Jones' system? I don't know. I don't know about that. Now, what Durante Jones brings to this team is a lot more than just a coach. I think he brings the mastermind aspect to this coaching staff. Now, I don't see him putting Dorrance Armstrong in a position where he's not able to be successful. But what if Durante Jones puts Armstrong in a position where he believes he should be strong in and he ain't strong? That's where the questions come in for Dorrance Armstrong. The same notion, he could do it. Like I said, Durante not gonna put him in a bad spot, but he's no longer the unquestioned alpha in the room. He's no longer the guy that we're looking for to, you know, lead the team in sacks. You know what I'm saying? He's part of a rotation now. That might actually unlock him even more. But we'll see, you know what I'm saying? Like, him getting spots here and there. But at the same time, the guys that we picked up, when the team done invested so much in your position room, man. You know, so like, move on to guys like Johnny Newton. Now, he one of those guys where, you know, you gotta call his ass to the, hey, Jazon Newton, please gather all your belongings and bring him down to the front office, please. Johnny, bro, what the fuck, man? Like, bro, you gotta get back, man. Yeah, Johnny, you gotta get back, man. The biggest question mark in the room, man. Let's talk about the biggest mystery in the room, Johnny Newton. Where does he fit? You know what I'm saying? How much playing time do we get? Do he deserve the playing time he get? Or is we still trying to develop? We still trying to see where he fit? From my standpoint, man, Newton has real potential at defensive tackle. His explosiveness, his leverage, his ability to shoot the gaps, that's all legit. But I believe Newton will be best used from 30 to 30. From the 30-yard line to the 30-yard line, man, in passing situations only. That's where I want to see him, because I know that's where his skill set shines at. That's where I know he most dangerous at. So Jazon Newton from the 30 to 30. That's all I want to see for real. But here's the reality, man. Behind that, behind the bullshit, here's the reality. For Newton to reach that next level, for Johnny Newton to reach that next level, he's gonna have to start stealing playing time, start stealing snaps away from guys like Amenahu, away from guys like Tim Settle, who we will talk about him later, and eventually maybe even Deron Payne. You gotta take them niggas snaps, man. You gotta take playing time, man. If Johnny Newton becomes the painter, if he becomes that painter writing on that wall, if he starts taking meaningful snaps away from Payne, that would tell the coaching staff, the front office, and goddammit, the fan base that he's ready to take over, man. And it'll show that there's a light at the end of the tunnel when Deron Payne gone next year. At least, cause this where we start to look at AP sideways at. You know what I'm saying? You had to make them additions during the offseason to the defensive front because of guys like Johnny Newton hasn't showed you what he needed to show you yet. He ain't showed nobody yet. So this is one of them picks where you looking at AP like, hey, where your guys at? How long do it take them to perform? Man, shit critical, man. Hey, Johnny Newton, shit's getting critical, man. Hey, you on it, man. That's all you. That's all you. That's all you. You can take these old nigga spots, man. But is you gonna do it, man? You gotta have that dog mentality, man. You gotta take them nigga spots, man. You gotta wanna take food off another man's table. And that's what it's gonna cost. Amenahu wants another contract after this year. Tim Settle cool, man. We fuck with Tim Settle. Tim Settle cool. Hey, Tim Settle, you got a spot, bro. You got a spot on this team, man. You back home, man. We cool with Tim. We cool with Tim. Yeah, man, but them guys, bro, like Dorrance Armstrong, like, you know, who you gonna take time from, Johnny? Who you gonna take time from? Javon Kinlaw, you gonna take time from him? But you haven't shown that you can do what Kinlaw has done and what we need him to continue doing. You know what I'm saying? So for that, let's move on to bruh. Let's move on to Javon Kinlaw, man. Straight out the city, Javon Kinlaw. He signed a contract that basically says, be a high-end role player, eat them double teams, destroy offensive linemen when it come to one-on-ones, period. Ain't no question. One-on-ones is done, man. Hey, look, bro, Kinlaw, you get a one-on-one, you already know. Slime season, god damn it. Attributes. He's violent. He's disruptive when he's not asked to do too much. And this year, he's no longer playing by himself out there. He basically has help. He finally has a rotation. He finally has dudes around him who can keep him fresh. He had the quote of the offseason. We got some motherfuckers. That's not my words, that's his. We got some motherfuckers. And I gotta salute AP for doing what he believed that needed to be done to that defensive front. This defensive front is built to attack guys like a Jalen. This front is meant to control guys like, you know, Pat Mahomes. Like the front. You know, and Kinlaw gonna be a force this year, man. Kinlaw is gonna do exactly what we needed him to do last year. And I can't hate on him last year because like I said, man, he was by himself out there last year. He was by himself out there last year. You know, and one of those reasons was Dietrich Wise. Now, look, it was all injury, cool, but Dietrich Wise was a key part to that defensive front last year that AP tried to build. Now, shout out, bruh. You know, injuries are hard to come back from. Matter of fact, bruh on the pup list too. So we're going to have to talk about that later. But it's kind of a shame when a Dietrich Wise season-ending injury is the end to your defense. Is the end to your entire defensive front. That's hard to think about. That's hard to think of. You know, fans were let down last year when Dietrich Wise got hurt because the idea of Dietrich Wise, Javon Kinlaw side by side, that shit was nasty, man. No offensive line was going to be able to prepare for what we had coming, for what they had coming. He a true run stopper, a real edge setter, physical and disciplined type of defensive end. Even with all the additions in the free agency, man, Dietrich Wise still brings value that others don't. He's going to be battling with guys like Amenahu for situational snaps, especially in early downs and heavy formations. Wise is still important, still valuable, still part of the plan, or should be, but starting on the pup list again, I don't know, bro. I don't know. Move on to the next man. We brought him back home, man. He should never been gone in the first place, but hey, you know how the politics go. You know how the politics go, man. Now let's talk about Tim Settle, who's finally back in DC, man. Settle was the odd man out in the Rivera era. You know, when it was time to pay the defensive line, Rivera paid everybody except Tim Settle. Even though Settle would have given the biggest bang for the buck. Man, but Ron Rivera, bro, I don't know what he was doing, man. Maybe it's the ownership that put him in that position in the first place. That's another conversation there. Maybe it was that. But Ron just fucked up the plan, man. And I had respect for Ron when he first came in. Yeah, man. So, like I was saying, Ron Rivera just couldn't evaluate talent properly, man. He paid the top guys until he was forced to make changes. He really, if you look at it, Ron Rivera never really made a decision on that front. All them four first round picks, and Ron Rivera never really made a hard decision. He just kept paying guys until he was told what to do. What the hell? Crazy. In my opinion, I would have been traded Jonathan Allen and kept Settle with Payne at defensive tackle and then build off of that. But now Settle returns after stints in both Buffalo and Houston, bringing experience, versatility, and a skill set that's matured over the last 3 to 4 years. A rotational disruptor. He gonna be a spark plug for that defense and that defensive front, best believe that. A guy who can give you meaningful snaps without costing you too much, man. Welcome back to the city, bro, man. Like, we should never let go of Tim Settle. Now let's talk about the man in the room, the guy in the room, the man himself, Daron Payne. You know, he bring that power, explosion, athleticism, ability to dominate one-on-ones, ability to take over games when he's locked in. But his weakness, we all know it. I know it, you know it, he know it, God damn it. He wasn't able to take his game to the next level year after year. It's always next level regression, and so on. He flashes greatness, but he can't sustain it. Fans, and honestly, the front office believe Payne is set for a monster season. I believe he's set for a monster season because Payne only shows up like a demon when it's time to cash that check. Daron Payne shows up when it's time to cash that check. And guess what? This is his final season in DC. Unless he gives us another Aaron Donald-like or Reggie White type year. And he good for it. Daron Payne is good for it. The last time he was in a contract year, man, bro was a force, man. He was a force in key situations. Payne is the man in that defensive tackle room. But can he lead like he the man? Can he perform like he the man? And that's really what it come down to. That's really what it come down to, man. If you try to get another check from the Commanders, bro, you got to show some leadership. And then you got to show performance behind that. He's surrounded by the best talent he'd had in years. Powerful, athletic, forceful players. He's going to get plenty of one-on-ones, and he must capitalize on all of them. Payne can grant himself the most explosive payday for a defensive tackle. Can he break the bank again? Can he make another owner overpay for him one more time? Man, Daron Payne is in the cut, and it's a scary sight. He got the keys, man. And as a fan base, we got to trust a man driving a whip. Good luck to me and you, man. It's gonna be another year, man. It's gonna be another one of them years, man. Hey, 24 we was up, 25 we was down, 26 we back up. We back up. We got Charles Omenihu, man, the versatile tweener, best inside, and a key chess piece on that board. Dorrance Armstrong, the last Dan Quinnite, proven finisher, rotational weapon when healthy. Johnny Newton, the biggest question mark on that line, man. Massive upside though. Can he be a takeover artist? Can he take another dude's job? Javon Kinlaw, the DC native, powerful role player and leader, and he finally got help. Dietrich Wise, when healthy, run stopping edge, still valuable, still competing in the NFL. And Tim Settle, the forgotten man, returns. He more mature now, disruptive, rotational defensive tackle. And Deron Payne, the man in the room. Contract year monster loading. This defensive line room is deep, man. It's talented, man. It's unpredictable, man. The full and it's full of dudes who can change the game. God damn, hey man, look. This defensive front is full of guys that can change the game. One-on-ones, it's over with. All of these guys, one-on-ones, I should expect a win. Now, it's about how does the defensive coordinator handle all of this talent? God damn. How does a defensive coordinator handle all of this talent? Because when players are developing, you know, hey, when it comes to defense, they tell you just go. But sometimes you don't want to overrun certain situations, overrun a play. So how does you, sometimes you might not want to win so quickly, you know, but hey, it's gonna be another year. Like I said, man, it's 2026. We back up, man. Shout out to the Commanders, man. Shout out to training camp about to start, man. Shout out to the rookies who's already out there, man. It's that man, Abu's brother, man. You didn't watch another video. We went down that rabbit hole on defensive line room, man. On certified Commanders.